man, got that tractor beam out of commission, or this could be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
What is up, Steve?
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys. Welcome everyone to a new show. We've been kind of thinking in the background of trying to do a show where we actually discuss some of the things that are still out there, that are still new to everybody, that people have on order, and kind of lets us talk more about hot toys and statues and just more things. Because we talk about that stuff on group therapy, but we kind of just do the newest and latest stuff. We don't talk about stuff that's, once it's done there, we don't really talk about it anymore. So this gives us an opportunity to do that. And it's really interesting because I think we get to talk to people. And Chris is the first one.
Seems like I'm the guinea pig for
it. Yeah, you're the guinea pig. And but it kind of gives us a chance to talk to people about like where their collection is going, why they're, what all the things in collecting, like where they're going with how it's evolving and everything. So
mistakes that you made 2 years ago that you haven't gotten rid of yet.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Why shouldn't be in your top 10. It shouldn't be in your top 10.
These are my top 10. There's a lot more.
Yeah,
these are the top 10.
These are the top 10.
And the mistakes have already been canceled. So
Chris actually has a decent amount of pre-orders. So we had to really go through and figure out
I have more than what.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah. Once upon a time I had 40 pre-orders with Sideshow.
I have about 17.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm down to 3. So
yeah. CZ says there's a delay with me. If there is. I can't. There's nothing I can do.
I'm not seeing a delay.
StreamYard usually like straightens out after a couple.
It's not a big deal. Like just imagine me not delayed, and then we'll go from there. So
I want to just like Sean put up. Good to have me back. I have been crazy work lately, and I've missed a lot of shows because there's a lot going on with my job. So
Chris, I talked to you recently, was like, hey, you thinking of coming on again at some point?
Yeah I know you've been
crazy busy.
I don't have a freaking Saturday night. Well, I don't have a weekend for the next 2 months really, so
that's okay. We'll figure
I'll be here Friday night too. So
it was CC. See, there we go. No worries.
4%. I don't know.
It's Matt's new voice. Yeah, that's what it is. My child voice. It's my child voice being delayed.
You should have turned your CZ3's face a little bit so we could see it.
Nothing's
I know it's not set up
right now. Nothing's
set up.
But
all we see is the back of CZ3.
I have Chewy on the floor over here.
That's the way Matt likes it. Matt
I have to. I don't have a choice right now, guys.
I like to look at the back of people's heads.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Things are getting fixed, guys. I finally got my LED lights in, so things are moving.
Steve and I we were going to place bets on whether it's going to happen or not, but we both agreed.
It's going to happen. You have every right to bet against it because it's been a shit show so far. So
yes.
Anyway, let's get back on track. So this show is about pre-orders, and we decided we were going to go with Steve. But Steve, you kind of are shifting your focus a little bit, and I mean, have you canceled a lot of pre-orders? Like, do you have like a lot of stuff on pre-order still? Do you know? Or
I have a good number of pre-orders. I don't have as many as I used to.
I know.
To be insane, dude. It used to be like, as I said, I had over 40 at Sideshow at one point.
Well, don't you feel like a lot of people aren't pre-ordering as much anymore? I mean,
no.
Do you think it's the opposite? What do you think?
A lot of people still pre-order. I just think we all have been getting less because we're getting more quality.
Yeah, just adjusting. For us, quality that we think. Like,
I'm not saying there's something wrong with it.
Let's just say more expensive. We might as well just say more expensive.
I didn't want to say it that way.
It is, but like what I don't want to, I don't want to sit here and have we get shit on because people think that we don't like hot toys, and that's not true. We just are shifting. Some of us are shifting our collection.
Anti-hot toys.
I'm not anti-hot toys. I know.
I'm just.
When did I say I was anti-hot toys?
I just fucking with you.
Fuck. Hey, Matt. Let's do your pre-orders instead.
Right. No,
But I mean, look at you guys. Don't order as many hot toys. Let's say you guys had 10 hot toys on order. That's $3,000 right there. You could buy something really a robot.
Right. I'll say this, the only hot toy that we're going to talk about tonight that I'm anti is number 1.
That's number 10.
Which is number 10, but we're starting 10 and down.
From my okay, so I have a lot of hot orders, but these are the ones I'm most excited for. Starting from 10
number 10
down
is
to
not the
1.
most. Yeah, number 1 is your most excited thing.
Yes.
So number 10 is Iron Patriot, and it pains me to look at it, but it is what it is. So what is it that now walk me through, Chris, real quick. You're still ordering Marvel stuff.
This is the only Marvel one I have on order yet still. Okay.
Do you think you're going to continue?
Well, it depends. I mean, if something comes out that I like, I'm going to buy. It's not like I'm giving up completely.
Let's shift. How do we shift? There we go. There we go. There we go. Because I mean, it's about Chris. We need to not cover him up.
But the main reason I bought this was I'm not a huge Iron Patriot fan, but I just love the look of it. And to be honest, the main reason is so I can put a rocket figure on top of it. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was instantly drawn in, and
it's shiny, and it's
it kind of looks like a Transformer, but
a little bit.
I don't know. I didn't even really notice him in the movie either, but I just thought it was so cool looking that I just had to have it.
Chris, I remember a while ago you saying you loved this thing. I remember when you saw this and you were like, "Oh shit, I gotta get this thing."
Absolutely.
That's what did it for you.
I do remember that.
Yeah, that's what did it for me. I'm a huge Rocket fan. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and anything with Rocket is pretty much my bag.
Chris, what was the figure that they put Rocket on that you can't actually put Rocket on, but
that's Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier, where you couldn't really hold him.
Yeah, this one looks like he'll actually sit on there for real.
I almost bought a Winter Soldier just so I could get the arm. And there was a picture that Hot Toys put out of Rocket running away with his arm, and I almost bought it just for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool, and then if you do pair them up, I get it, and I know you're a huge Guardians fan.
Yeah, I love Guardians.
So the Rocket does make sense with this.
So I think that I used to collect the die-cast Hot Toys. I think that if you looked at all the die-cast Hot Toys, the best one ever would be Hulkbuster. I've never seen this in person, but I have a feeling that this would be the second best.
This looks amazing. It looks amazing.
This is absolutely an amazing figure. And if I could, I'd have this for sure. But
yeah.
It's crazy, man. Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, it's very patriotic. This is like July 4th, just like jizzed in your eye, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that they think that they should have made him like black and silver, but no, I like it like this. It's perfect for me.
If I ever got the shit beat out of me by July 4th, this is where I'd want coming at me. I mean,
this thing's going to be huge too. It's going to be like the rockets on top. It's
freaking massive. Yeah, it's crazy.
Massive. So is the CC
walk me through real quick. So I'm sorry, real quick. Is the whole thing die-cast, or are pieces on it plastic and the body is die-cast? Like, what is the die-cast part of these things?
I know a lot of it's die-cast because Iron Man, they have. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. The shoulders aren't die-cast. Are they because they pop off? So you can move the arms, and those are plastic,
right? And some of the pivot arms,
those
pieces are made out of plastic.
Yeah, I think I'm not an Iron Man.
I think the hip. It's been a while, but I think the flaps that cover the hips when you move the legs. I think those things tend to be plastic,
and on the ankles, but the thigh pads, and I think. The thigh pads are. I think it's just a skeleton, really, that might be die-cast. To be honest, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's true of like Hulkbuster too.
Well, when you pop off the thighs, then they're plastic. I know that to put the batteries in.
Chris, CCS, have you gotten into Marvel props at all?
I haven't, But there is one Marvel prop that I would buy in a second if somebody would sell it to me. And that's a studio scale Milano.
Oh, right. Yeah, that Milano is actually really cool looking.
Yes, I sent you
Super
pictures,
cool.
didn't I?
Yeah, it's super cool.
I love it.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
They're really, it's hard. You really don't see a lot of like props, like Marvel props out there. I mean, I'm not looking either, but
no, there are.
Are there a lot of people that make this stuff?
Yeah, EFX, didn't they make the what's his name's helmet?
Loki, and then
Star-Lord
helmet, Loki Scepter, Captain America's shield.
Star-Lord, right, Jason?
Yeah, Star-Lord, Captain America's shield,
yeah.
And isn't there a Black Panther face mask too, I think?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
I think what Matt is getting at, what he said before, is unlike Star Wars, there's been no other property that has like archives of something that you refer to, but there has been companies that there's actually quite a few companies that offers props, whether it's some of the weapons, the stats of a higher level of quality, which is pretty interesting.
A lot of this stuff is digital. Like so much stuff is digital.
Yeah.
That it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like it's crazy.
You're never gonna find a prop store auction with like a Loki staff in it. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
All right, well, let's get past this embarrassment. Let's go to this guy right here.
That's the wrong one.
Is this the wrong one? This is the transport.
That's the Mando one. That's the transport trooper. I was
okay. Let me find the right one real quick. Hold on. So you want the tank trooper?
Tank trooper.
Hold on a minute, guys. I thought I had everything lined up.
Christopher,
are you in your glass palace? Yeah.
I am in my glass palace. Yes, sir. Yeah.
This says a hell of a lot about how I don't know what I'm doing with this.
Yeah, Hot Toys has a website. You might want to try that one.
Well, Sideshow would be better.
Amateur hour up in here, huh?
One is a little rough.
It's embarrassing, guys. It's embarrassing.
That's all right. Saturday morning, I was flipping through images like a madman.
You're trying
Don't worry about the pictures. Don't worry about the pictures. Pay attention to what he's saying.
Tank trooper. Let's see if I find this thing. Oh, there it is. Assault tank commander. Is that what we were talking about?
Yep.
Look at this shit. Okay, hold on 1 second.
That's badass.
Yeah, sure.
So badass.
There we go.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is cool. This now this makes more sense because you have the helmet of this.
I do. I have the Novo's helmet, yeah.
Which is very cool.
And I love the design, and they showed it at certain shows and never thought you'd get it. But surprisingly they brought it out.
Yeah, that's cool.
He needs to maybe take his pants in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
they're quite baggy.
Maybe he needs room in there.
It's very.
He's got a big package.
This is very similar to the Shore Trooper gear, isn't it? I mean, it's
exactly the same.
Same, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's the exact same armor, just different helmet. That's all.
Buckles are on the outside.
Yeah, and the ACT, the ACT, as well. Now, if they came out with that would be primo.
That's very similar to this, though, right? Like, I mean, we're talking.
Yeah.
Extremely similar.
Same exact thing, same colors, just another. It's a white Shore Trooper helmet.
Yeah, this is cool. So tell me, Chris, do you tend to lean more towards the troopers and like the helmeted stuff? Like, is that kind of what you're?
Yeah, I was collecting everything really, and then it just kind of got to me, like the head sculpts. They just. I know people don't like to hear it, but when I see a head sculpt, and I know a lot of people like head sculpts, but I think they look like dolls. I really do. Like, I don't know. Oh
man,
I need.
How to say dolls?
It's okay.
See, that's not a bad word on this channel anymore.
No,
we've done that plenty of times. So.
Yeah. It's happened
every time.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? I think Yeah, and the tougher part is when you have a hot toy like a Gamora, Chris,
which I have,
where you have to actually comb her hair, like do her.
I didn't comb her hair. No, I didn't do it.
I mean, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother situation.
But you know what's weird is I have almost all my Marvel Hot Toys have head sculpts, and for some reason they don't bother me as much as the Star Wars ones. I don't know why.
It's so interesting that the head sculpts bother you, because that's what's the amazing part about Hot Toys. Like,
I know that's what people like.
That's what people like. I mean, that's never something that's bothered me. It's been more for me. It's been more the joints and some of
joints are bad.
The bodies and stuff that I kind of had a problem with. But other than that, like I think the troopers, the helmeted characters look absolutely crazy. And if I was able to collect everything, I'd probably still be doing that with the Hot Toys.
You could look at those and say they're not dolls. They don't look like dolls.
I mean, they still have the body type, but at the same time, they look on your shelf. They can look really good. Like
if they're posed like this, they can look like dolls.
But the problem is, Chris, though, if you think about it, like think about Tarkin. I think Tarkin looks absolutely amazing.
I know he does,
and he's got a head. I mean, his head sculpt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. To me, it doesn't.
No, what else I'd like to add to that, Matt?
Yeah.
Chris. So where you've made the point in the past that they look like dolls, and then Chris specifically made him out of this conversation a few times about singling out the troopers, and even Steve had, the troopers are a little bit different, and they are. The thing about someone like Tarkin, I like that you brought up that example, is still, nonetheless, when you're posing him, his hands, for example, you see that ball joint.
Right.
You're not gonna see that on any trooper, and if you do, it doesn't look as much as a doll, because it just looks like it's part of the armor or the overall, aspect of the body. So there, you can get away with a lot more, especially in the Star Wars universe with Hot Toys with the helmeted characters, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Sean's saying Krennic's amazing. There are some
phenomenal pieces.
Yeah, there are some really amazing pieces. Like I would say again, I'd throw Tarkin in there. There was I'm trying to think. When I know some people don't like Rey, but when you put that scavenger outfit on her, it looks really, really good. There are some
OT Ben. I mean, amazing character.
Yeah, there's some amazing looking characters that do really well in 1/6 form. But yeah, I kind of agree that the troopers tend to be the best looking 1/6 scale, at least to me.
They look like smaller statues, 1/6 statues.
They look really good. Some of them.
And a concern I always bring up is longevity with Hot Toys, right?
Sure.
Like a Vader isn't meant to last 10, 15, 20 years. Someone who has a head sculpt and a lot of exposed, like a layer or loop with a lot of body parts, those aren't going to last 10, 15 years. A trooper with basically armor, with the exception of possible discoloration based on the environment in which you display it, humidity, things like that, isn't going to really hurt the figure that much.
Yeah, well
like
now,
it would others.
Jason, now they're coming out with figures where they actually have the full on the was it silicone arms? What kind of arms they have?
Yeah, the new Rey has the.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Like those actually
are
going to break down for sure.
That looks like spaghetti arms.
Yeah. Steve? What are your thoughts on that?
The thing about those arms is there's a wire in the arm that comes to a loop where the hand pegs in. And I've had it happen where I went to plug in a hand and it bent the wire inside the arm. And now you've got to somehow get a tool inside the silicone to straighten out the metal that's inside there. And it's a bloody freaking nightmare. It's just, I've had the Wonder Woman were the ones that I had that were made out of silicone. And it looks great, but once you start,
it does look really good.
The other thing is, like, if you're trying to push the arms on it or trying to pull something off, sometimes you start abrading the silicone too.
Oh, right, sure.
And the silicone gets a little wear marks on it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
it really
it's a nightmare.
And I'm always afraid of putting hands on the ones that have silicone arms.
Well,
like they pull the hands off, put them on.
Giovanni's right here too, that if posed right, Hot Toys don't look like dolls, and that is true. The way you pose your figures makes a world of difference. And, that's why there are some collectors out there that don't really pose at all. And that's when it's like, oh, geez, those that's when it starts to look even more like that to me.
See, but I do have Ahsoka on order.
Yeah,
I have the Clone Wars Maul on order. And I still have my Phantom Menace Maul. I mean,
well, Chris, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you may think that a little bit about head sculpts or face, the face sculpts and stuff, but like at the end of the day, you aren't going to skip out on an Ahsoka.
Hell no.
Like, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So
no. I just checked. I've got 5 Hot Toys on pre-order right now.
Okay.
And I've got like 5 that I'm going to order when they come out. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. This is the next one. They already have this pretty much released, right?
Yeah, it's released in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this.
Dude, look at that pic. That's freaking amazing, dude. That looks like someone's in that costume. It's crazy.
It does. And him on the speeder bike is just balls.
Dude, this is beautiful. Like they did a great job with the weathering too. Obviously, it's probably printed, right? Weathering, like they've been doing.
Probably.
But man, that looks great.
Oh, I haven't seen these pictures before.
Yeah, I just found
you didn't bring up the speeder bike one.
I think it's coming up. I think they have
okay.
Some, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't come out with the Jedi one yet, but maybe they're waiting till after this comes out to come out with the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, talk about easy, right?
Yeah, just repainting.
Seriously, but look at these. Some of these pictures are freaking ridiculous of this guy.
The weathering looks really good on this.
It does look really good, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's got to be 3D printed, though.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's
not 3D printed. I just meant
screened on.
Yes, printed.
Yeah.
I am getting a speeder bike, so yes. I almost bought 2. I really did, but I just thought it's probably gonna be pretty big.
Gosh, the baby Yoda looks so bad all the time in everything. I just can't stand it.
I have this on pre-order also, Chris. It's a good one.
It is a great one.
Put him in the bag and don't, like maybe let an ear pop out, but like look at that thing. Oh gosh.
Matt wants to be the one to punch it in the bag.
I can't stand it anymore. I've had enough of it. Like I can't.
Well, I remember when there was like no Grogu stuff out, and I remember saying there's going to come a point where we are sick to death of seeing him. I remember saying that, and here we are.
I just don't want to see him anymore.
No.
But this is oh gosh. But
there we go.
It does look fantastic, though. I mean, talk about a great and I'll tell you, as much as I can't stand the sideshow speeder bike, in terms of like how you have to if you touch it, it breaks. Basically, I do think it displays so well, and this thing I'm sure is going to be even cooler. It's probably going to be amazing. I'm sure.
You have that, right? You have the sideshow one. Yeah.
Yeah. I have the sideshow speeder bike.
Yeah.
I like it. It's awesome.
Is it
that's one I think I'm going to keep.
You don't have the probe droid or the E-Web, right?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, so those are just brutal. They're like garbage, but they look beautiful. This is going to be quality. There's going to be this is going to be substantial. Yeah.
Steve, do you have this on order, Steve?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will probably I would probably sell it shortly after, since I'm getting rid of all my Mando stuff.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have this, Jason, on order?
I do.
Yeah.
I've watched a few comparison videos between this and the sideshow one, and the sideshow one, quality-wise, doesn't, but detail-wise, beats this one out almost every time.
Really?
That's it.
It's interesting.
So this, for the sake of quality, you can move it around, pose it, shift it, just put the figure on and do what you need to do in it. There's no issues. The sideshow one, things tend to come loose or come off. But as far as detail, so quality, yes, as far as it passes the sideshow. But as far as detail, there's a few corners where they cut it. It's kind of just like a solid cast piece, kind of like Maul Speeder. It's just like one piece. Because of that, so because you don't have to assemble, it's a lot easier. I think you just have to pop the handlebars on. But almost everything else is just like as is, which I think is a little bit better for a piece like this. But I just think if you have to lose a few of the details when it's on display, you're not going to notice it. So it's probably better that way.
Chris, you know one thing cool about this as well is that look how you can put IG-11 on this thing, and it changes the whole thing, right? Like you could have just the scout, the biker scout on his own, which looks fantastic, and then switch it up with this. That's pretty cool. It's cool that it's like pretty versatile like that.
I was thinking about getting. Go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say that on this particular one, so the speeder bike, the pedals have magnets in them.
Oh,
so
that's
you know
cool.
how the sideshow one's very like fragile.
Yeah,
so these have magnets in them.
And they even went as far. Yes, I know how it's fragile.
So Matt, they even went as far as to preemptively put magnets in IG-88's feet. So if you decide to put him on the bike, he coincides with. That's his only purpose to have magnets in his feet is to coincide with the speeder bike. So it's pretty cool.
I didn't know that. I did not know that, actually. The reason I was going to get to was to put him on one of them and then display the two biker scouts with next to each other. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I didn't. I only got one. Dude, and this, I wouldn't want to put him on there because his knees have that silicone. So, it would end up tearing it.
Rubber, or is it just a rubber, or is it?
Yeah, I have it. I have it bent slightly, but I don't want to.
Yeah, you're not wrong though. That could be a problem if you actually do it.
So, Chris, on the sideshow IG-88s, those rubber joints or whatever I think they're rubber. They don't conform very well when they're bent, and they get distorted out of shape, and they pop off their connectors, and they just generally look like shit. How do you know how well the connectors are on the IG-11?
No, I have him straight armed, and one leg is just slightly bent. I didn't mess with it too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's a great figure. He's actually really awesome.
Killer. Well, yeah, I can understand why you have that on order. That thing looks amazing. Let's go to the next one here. Your next one is slightly different.
Yeah.
So this is Chris's number 7. MYC Sculptures R5D4.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
You and I are the only ones who have this on order.
I know, yeah. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, it's coming soon too.
It is.
And
it is.
If somebody had asked me before, I think I said to you guys when he was talking about droids and he was saying that he might come out with an R5D4. I'm like, I don't want an R5D4 statue. And then I saw it. I was like, immediately needed it. It's so good.
That happens a lot that happens a lot. It is really good.
I love the base. The base is my favorite part of it.
I like the base too. I love that there's like a difference in there's like a rocky part, like a dried out rocky part that goes into the sand. It's really cool.
I was actually trying to copy that when I made a base for my sandcrawler, diorama base, which I later changed my mind, and I was trying to copy that. That just because of that base there to make half of it a little bit rock and the rest sand. It's so cool looking. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so do I. It's coming soon. A couple weeks.
It is coming very soon. Yeah, Steve, why didn't you jump on this? Just I know that you didn't.
I think it looks really good, but I think they're just at some point you have to say no to something.
Sure.
And I just tried to exercise some self-control. I mean, gosh, if we ordered every single one of my
I know,
right? It just
you're right.
It would be the money would be flowing out. So I just had to make a financial decision on this one.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm a little surprised you didn't get this, Jason. This is very different.
Yeah, I think the statue itself is beautiful. I think it's literally a 10 of 10. He nailed it on a real level. I thought that originally as well. Usually there's times where I don't get something because I'm unsure of the overall look during like pre-order, but I thought this was fantastic through and through. I just can't think of what I would do with the R5D4 statue or where it would fit amongst my collection of real estate wise. Like I said, I don't have a small amount of statues, but I also don't have a large amount of statues, and I'm very particular about what statues I do pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
This one wasn't an easy pass, but it wasn't necessarily a difficult one either. It was pretty neutral about it. I intentionally passed, but I didn't lose sleep over passing on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So if it had been an R2D2, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I like that it's different.
Yeah, it's really interesting that it's
I agree
different,
with you
right?
on that.
You don't see a lot of R5D4 floating
None.
around the collecting community.
Or
And,
so well done at that. So the one that's so well done.
Right, exactly.
Jason, is there a sideshow R5D4? I know there are a couple droids, but I don't think there's one of these.
No, this is, I think, honestly, Chris, this is probably the first core scale R5 we've ever seen, and he just, it's perfect. I mean, even the way he emulated the holographic stickers around the neck.
Yeah. The neck.
It's amazing.
This stuff right here, yeah.
There's not a sideshow 1/6 figure of this either.
There is someone. Yeah, there's a 1/6 figure.
There's okay, there is one.
That one's actually really nice.
Okay, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well done too.
Yeah, this is
at least in aesthetics.
I'm excited, man. I and this one honestly wasn't that crazy expensive either, Chris. I mean, I know that's one of the reasons we jumped on it. It was like you almost paid like half of it just in the deposit. Yeah. And then you just have to pay the rest of it off. So it wasn't too bad.
It's a little over half the price of the normal statues.
Yeah, it's awesome. Someone was saying, Sean was asking what we thought about the Shore Trooper. We'll talk about that on Friday, group therapy. So we do have a group therapy this Friday. We'll be talking about all the new news coming out. So Danny Lee, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining.
Hey, Danny.
Good to see you, man.
Danny.
I haven't seen him up there for a while.
I know, it's great to have him back. So yeah, fantastic piece. I get why you jumped on that one for sure. Let's go on to the next guy, or the next girl, I should say. That number 6 is the Ahsoka premium format.
This was a day one pre-order.
I know, this one you jumped on quick.
Immediately. I love Ahsoka. She's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think she's the most fleshed out, one of the best story arcs, character arcs. Just, you grew up with her. I mean, you watched her grow up. So, and this is the first real Ahsoka collectible. I don't count the Gentle Giant pieces. This is the first one.
This is, I agree. I try to be careful with my words here. I'm not a big fan of Gentle Giant. I've said that before. I just don't. I feel like Gentle Giant is kind of very, like, a little bit plasticky and just soft in some cases, and I'm just not overall a big fan. And so the Ahsoka they came out with, I didn't really like. And I honestly, there's been other customs. We've seen other people make customs that, we haven't seen NYC, but Zionart has made an Ahsoka, right? Correct.
Yeah, and that's the pose I wanted.
Yeah,
like on that. I forget what it's called. Display console.
Right.
Circular display console. That's the one I really wanted.
There's some other customs. I'm not a big fan. The original NYC Ahsoka, I didn't really like that one either.
Right.
That was a little bit back. I really like this one.
Yeah.
And I think I talked to you, Chris, about this when it first came out, and I was kind of like up in the air, like, if I should get it or not. And talking to you about this, I think helped me kind of decide what I wanted to do. Because I think so, because I was in the same camp as some other people where I was like, the horn thing she's doing with her fingers. I was still trying to figure out if I liked the thing or not. And so I kind of went back and forth, and I'm glad I pre-ordered this because I've grown to like this more and more as we talk about it, as we see it. I just think it's great.
I really saw nothing wrong with it. I love it. I mean, the base is a little different, but
it is.
Hopefully, we get a piece that goes with it eventually. That's
my hope.
Yeah, I'll be honest. In that episode, man, I got all emotional when that was going on. That's out. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope we see a Rebels Vader from them. I really do. Jason, tell me. So you have this on pre-order now?
No. Yeah, I didn't at first.
Tell us why you have this on pre-order now. Like, what is because you haven't seen any of this stuff. Clone Wars.
Correct. So it's not that I'm not a fan. Right. I just don't know enough about them. I haven't had the chance to get into Rebels or Clone Wars. And delve deep enough into the storyline to understand, who the characters are, what they are, what their arc is. So, I see all of the feedback and all the reaction to Ahsoka. I mean, doing this with you folks and, the community, I see that, excitement and anticipation. And I don't get that. And initially it was because, like I discussed with you, I don't know how to relate to that response. But after discussing with you in further detail and starting my journey into Clone Wars,
have you started?
I figured it was not yet.
Okay.
I watched a few, but not enough to. I'm like 3 in. It's not nearly enough to even put a dent in it. But my thing, Chris, particularly was specifically when Hyperdrive released like the Bo-Katan helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I just had no interest, and it was nothing about the helmet or the quality. It was just because it was Bo-Katan. So after having a conversation with Matt and a few other people and starting to get into it, I just thought to myself, well, I don't want it to be one of those things where I start to watch this, I grow an attachment to it, or the response that most people do when they see this type of stuff and then regret having passed on it. I think once I have that connection with the characters, I'll have just as much excitement and anticipation. So I think it was, about a week ago, Matt, roughly, approximately, that I went ahead and pre-ordered this just to kind of be on the safe side. I mean, I know this is a large run, and I know they're going to make a ton of them, but still, I just didn't want to be that one person a year later that was like, I should have got that. Now that I know better, now that I, enjoy who the character is.
Well, and that's what I. First of all, Jason, I think that's a really smart move on your part. Like I found it interesting that like you're kind of preempting the knowing that that everyone loves this character. You're going to love this character. The last thing you want to do is go, oh shit, I didn't watch this and I missed on this and this and this and this and this and what a bummer.
Look at how expensive the Gentle Giant bust of her is. Like
I know.
That
I know.
is selling for crazy money.
It's crazy.
The second statue that came out with the owl, that's nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But the bust people want because it's the only thing out right now for her. When this comes out and is no longer on the site to buy, they're going to make a shit ton of them, but
they will.
Eventually it'll sell out, and eventually people are going to be like, I want that statue.
Well, it's the first that I've seen that I think is worth picking up. I haven't seen anything before this that I really wanted. So, right. Steve, what are your thoughts on this thing? Because I know you're still kind of not positive.
So first of all, for anybody who's trying to get caught up on a character in Star Wars, there's a channel I've started watching recently called Meta Nerds Lore. And if you just search for Ahsoka Tano Complete Life, what they do is they take characters. You could do the same thing with Captain Rex or Commander Cody or other characters like that. They take every appearance of Ahsoka, whether it's in comics or movies or whatever, and they put it into a nice timeline.
Yep.
And they just show all the clips. So it's kind of like a abridged Ahsoka's life. So
that's cool.
That's Meta Nerds Lore with a Z.
Well, Steve, just real quick, Disney Plus is now doing that.
Okay.
So they have a category called Ahsoka Essentials, and you can just straight up go
hear all the things. And then you have to watch the whole. You probably have to watch the whole episodes and whatnot. Whereas
probably
this one's a little bit more condensed than that.
Yeah, abbreviated. But anyway,
sure. I go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think they give a lot of her highlights, but I think you have to kind of watch all of it to really.
You want to be emotionally connected,
yes,
by all means, watch the episodes.
Yes.
But if you just want to know who the hell was Ahsoka, why is everybody making a big deal?
Right.
That's what you go ahead and do that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like if you're trying to get caught up on a storyline, like, oh, what was going on with Darth Maul? You could. I just watched Darth Maul's Complete Life this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
As far as this is concerned, I have my reservations. I've had them for a while. The horn fingers, the base, the LeCue has a weird gap between it and her neck. It just
this one right here.
Yeah, it's defying gravity.
Okay.
But anyway, I have issues with it, but I do have it on pre-order, and if I'm totally planning on displaying it with her facing to the right. So
to the east.
90 degrees, 90 degrees turned.
Okay.
I will not have her facing forward. I'll have her facing sideways. because I think that
this
no, the other
or
one, the other
this one.
That's the one. That's where she looks best. That's the way I will have her pose.
Okay, she does look good there. She looks
good. I think that's the way you have to pose this one.
Honestly, the best case scenario, Steve, to me, is they come out with a rebel style Vader that is an opposing statue for this, and you can put them facing each other.
And please let it be this direction.
exactly. Yeah.
You know.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you, and I figured with Steve, I figured you would end up jumping on it because it's one of those things where you just don't want to. Yeah, I know you really like Ahsoka, so
so I have it pre-ordered. If I despise the statue, I'll just hold on to it for a little while and then sell it.
Sure.
Whatever. So
this concerning thing though is those little rocks that are on the base. They just look like they're ready to break off.
Yeah, and they're all the same too. It's oh look, the base has 3 tiny little rocks on the 3 protrusions.
I hear you.
They're gonna break off.
It is a little.
Steve's are definitely gonna be broken.
Yeah, but that might be a good thing. Then he might go, "Oh, that's not the same." That's nice. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of the base. I'm not a crazy like I do. I think she looks to me a little bit too orange. Like she looks a little neon orange to me, but
I feel like it's lighting.
That could be very well be lighting. It's fine. It's gonna look great in person, I think, and I think the portrait's beautiful, and the pose.
Does anybody feel like on this particular statue that the hilts are a little too thin?
Too thin. Oh,
the hilts themselves.
Yeah.
I know they're on the thinner side in real life. They just look a little in that perspective on the angle. They just look a little thin.
They look a little thin. Yeah, sure. But it's Star Wars, bro. Like they can do anything.
She's probably a 5-foot girl and can't really have big honking lightsabers like the Disney ones. I can't get over how big those suckers are.
They're massive.
Those are bazookas.
They are humongous.
They're massive, yeah.
The Asajj Ventress are even bigger.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting bigger over time.
They are.
It feels like it, right?
Dooku's look like severe logs.
Dooku's is absurd.
Well,
like this. I don't even think I can get my hand around it. I got big hands.
Oh yeah, you can, Chris. You can get your hand around that.
I do that every Friday night.
I have to double it for normal.
Let me see that, dude. You have to do what?
I have to do this.
You do.
Couple nights.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I think. I think it depends on who's holding it. That's what I think. So let's go to the next one here. Let me see. So your next one is this fantastic piece right here. Number 5, XM Studios Revan. This is just all right. Tell me, Chris, what do you love about this? What made you want to pre-order?
I never really watched or played the game. I just loved the design of him. Okay, and I love the backstory. I've read the backstory about him. And honestly, my son would kill me if I didn't buy this thing. He's hoping that when I die, he gets it. So that's part of the reason why I ordered it.
Yeah, sure.
But it's awesome. And I debated whether I got whether to get Malak too, but they're going to be big. They're going to take up a lot of real estate. So if there was one I wanted, it was this. This one looked more, I don't know. It's the cloak is dynamic. Everything about it is spot on.
It's impressive. Here's what I'll say, and this is, I think people are right to say this. The problem is a lot of people get it wrong the opposite way. Is that he does look very, what's the word? What's the game?
Assassin's Creed. He
looks very Assassin's Creed, but really what's going on is Assassin's Creed looks very Revan. Right? Because Revan came
way before.
I mean, this is a character that's been on for over 2 decades.
Exactly. So he does have a bit of a look like that. Like he looks like Ezio or whatever his name is in that game. But at the same time, I mean, it's Revan. It's fantastic. Like he looks so sick. Do you think, Chris, you're gonna pose him with both of the lightsabers?
Or do you think both lightsabers and straight like fate like that. That's how I'm gonna pose it. I didn't want to pose them. I didn't want to get Malak also because I didn't want to pose them facing each other. I like how it looks where he's looking at you.
See, the only thing I'll say is I don't think the lightsabers are very well done. The blades.
No. Hopefully they change that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're.
It's something that maybe some people will make some replacement blades.
Maybe
that would be.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
I'm sure people will light them up too. People will make actually like lit up lightsabers. I don't personally like sending something in to get lit up or anything like that. I don't want to deal with that. But yeah, hopefully you're right. Hopefully they do fix that.
Hopefully the base don't weigh a ton like the Boba Fett one does, but it probably will.
Oh, it's gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Look at this thing, dude. It's gonna weigh. Yeah, it's gonna weigh.
It'll probably be Luke's the weight of the Luke one.
Yeah. But again, let's remember, XM is the only company doing cold cast porcelain statues.
Right.
I mean, that's equivalent to what you see as a museum style statue. Like when you go into an exhibition and you see something that's sculpted, if it isn't bronze or if it isn't marble, it's usually cold cast porcelain.
Honestly, if there's any character that you might see in the future in some kind of movie or show, there's a lot of product coming out with him. There's figures, there's lightsabers coming out, there's statues.
Something's going on.
Something's happening.
But I think I believe, I could be wrong. I think I saw somewhere where they might be mastering and re-putting out the Knights of the Old Republic game.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd play it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I heard that somewhere, but I could be wrong. So, and that could be part of this, because he's a big part of that. But one thing I will say, I was watching a couple of things. I was watching a collector, the Rad Titan collector chat, and they were talking about this set, and they were showing both Malak and Revan together. And I do have to say, Jason, that they do look really good together. You can pose them like even back to back instead of pointing at each other, and they look really good.
That was my intention of getting. That was my reason for getting them both.
They look really nice. So it's tempting, man. I think both are going to be amazing, but Revan is the one that I jumped on.
There's a lot of EU Sith out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Darth Bane and a whole bunch of others,
Yeah.
But this one is one of the best looking designs. You have Darth Vader, you have Darth Maul, and then Revan are probably three of the best looking Sith designs that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Chris, I agree to that. He falls into one of the top 3 tier designs for a Sith. And I like his character too. He kind of falls into the guise of Thrawn, where he's a good guy, but he's a bad guy, but he's a good guy. He's sketchy, but he's kind of in that middle. He's got like that Mace Windu vibe going on.
So I barely know Revan. I don't know anything about Malak. When I saw them take his mouth guard off, I didn't know that he didn't have a bottom half of his face.
Malak?
Yeah.
Malak. He's talking about Malak.
Malak. Yeah. So I was blown away by that. I thought that was so friggin' awesome looking.
Oh, amazing.
Well, Revan did that to him, right?
No, I didn't. And I have to go search on the internet for the complete Revan or whatever, right? Yeah. But that blew me away. The design. The thing that strikes me is that the 2-pack, the price when that was stupid.
Phenomenal.
I mean, what a.
It's like Steve. It was close to like buy one get one like a third off.
Yeah, right. And when you think about what we spent on a NYC statue, right? This is not that much more. It's barely more.
It's true.
I thought they'd be a lot more.
Did you get both?
Why would I got the pair? I got the pair.
Okay,
cool. For sure. I mean, I looked at the price. I said, "This is even if I don't know these characters, it's Star Wars, and it looks amazing."
It does look really
learn
good.
about the characters, and then I'll have the two of them either facing each other or facing away, and that will be the most killer display. So
yeah, it's
really
really cool. That I'm not a huge fan of. Even for me, I'm just not a huge fan of the way Malak looks, even in the statue. I just didn't really like it. And so, but the more I see them posed in different ways, because I think I was looking at them to, always looking at each other, like fighting. The more I see them in different ways that you can put them, it is actually really nice. Maybe at some point I might decide to upgrade my purchase.
think you can. I think Revan's going to be the one that's going to be hard to get. I think at some point you can get Malak later on down the line if you want to for retail.
Probably, but the double price. They're right. The double price is the deal. For sure.
Yeah.
The only thing about the set that took me a little more than anything was when you're looking at the set, you're not taking into consideration that they're 1/4 initially because they just don't look that way visually when they're displayed in the promo photos. But you have to. The only thing I had to keep reminding myself is okay, when these are in person, these are going to be 20+ inches each.
Yeah.
Side to side, so they're going to be massive pieces. And even this, it doesn't look like it's going to be a 1.5 to 2 foot statue.
I know,
but it is times 2.
And what's cool? What's also cool, guys, about XM is that they do everything sculpted, everything. Like their entire thing is sculpted, and so the cape is amazing. Like all the flowing, everything's flowing. It's just it's so sick.
It's all flowing in the right direction for the most part.
Yes,
it makes sense physiologically. It makes sense.
Just like the Mythos Obi-Wan. The new one, just exactly the same.
And I like the switch outs with him. I was always bothered by the Iron Studios Vader switch outs because of the way his legs are posed. The hand going like this looks very odd. Right. It looks like he's stumbling over. But with the saber, he looks right. That looks good right there. With
that pose looks great.
Yeah, he looks great either way.
I'm gonna do it without one of the sabers. I think I really like the one where he's just kind of force, pushing or whatever. I do have to say, so I in watching that collector chat, the Rad Titan one, they mentioned that because I think one of those guys actually works for XM. He's like their social guy, I believe, and he was mentioning that he basically said without saying that that they are the XM are pretty much working on Mandalorian stuff. So I think there's going to be a Mandalorian stuff coming out from XM as well. So down the line, we'll see. Could be interesting. And then
somebody asked about shipping on this thing. I'm figuring it's going to be like $300, isn't it?
So if you order it from
Spec,
it's all in.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all
really?
In, yes.
Oh, sweet.
So like if you order it from overseas, okay, you've got to pay a crazy amount of money for shipping. Instead, they're all shipped to spec.
Yes, you're right about that. But you do have to pay. You do have to pay from spec to you, though, right? I mean,
I didn't.
It did say shipping on there. It did say plus shipping on there.
You have to pay. Yeah. So for the set, I think we're going to be paying around $500 for shipping.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, on the order, I remember it saying the price and then plus shipping when it's calculated. Yeah.
Then I'm in for a big surprise.
Yep. Yeah, it's never all in unless it actually I think Luke was all in. There's only a few that are all in. But this was whatever it is plus shipping.
Yeah, shipping
maybe what I'm remembering is that it's not overseas shipping, and that's why it's such a great deal.
Shipping calculated. You'll be billed for shipping when this item
it is. Yeah, it is due later. You're right. I was wrong. But think about it. You're paying for shipping from California instead of
very different. It's very
Singapore
different.
or wherever it's coming from, right?
Very.
So it's a massive difference.
Makes a huge difference. I agree. Let's go to the number 4. Your number 4 is this guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
Hot Toys Mando Boba Fett. So yeah, I mean, this is your guy, huh?
You know what's funny? When I heard rumors about Boba Fett being in Mandalorian, I was dead against it. Completely saying I don't want him in Mando. I think it would not be good. I thought there's no way they're going to do it. I was completely wrong. I was blown away when he was in Mando and made me love the character more than I had before. Tamora Morrison as him, awesome, just awesome. And this is a 2-pack. This comes with Monk Boba and.
Oh, is this the one that comes with him? Him has a.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Dad Bod Boba.
Man, he really effed up that helmet, didn't he? And that armor. Holy shit! What did the Marshall guy?
The Sarlacc did.
Yeah,
The acid in the yeah.
I think
The
the Marshall. I think freaking Marshall guy did something to it.
It was eaten away by the Sarlacc digestive system.
He's picking at it. I think the Marshall guy wanted to pick at it at the armor.
This
it's
is
freaking crazy.
Awesome looking.
It's pretty cool, dude. This is one, Chris, I mentioned this to you. This is one that I looked at when it first came out. And I was like, oh shit. Like I might have to pick this up because it looks so good. I think I've convinced myself to not do that, but still it looks really good.
You know what's great about this one too? I think it was smart that Chris already has this on pre-order, because when you start to go to Sideshow's page and you sort it out through most popular, best-selling, because you can shift around the the pieces on sale by those categories. A lot of people have that laid back mentality, like, oh, I'll get this when I get this, right? Because it's a $500 set,
right?
And it's not the whole, like, what do we call it, dopo. This is one of those sets that I think everybody wants, everybody has intentions of getting, but as we know, despite some of the rumors that were put out there over the last year and a half, oh, you don't have to order right away. You don't have to. I mean, that's really not true. The reason why they put pre-orders out for 6 to 9 months is to sort of gauge how many they need to produce, or get an estimate or an approximate estimate of how many they need to produce. So for those that are like, I'll get this when I get this, I think it's going to be one of those things that it's going to end up being waitlisted before it actually reaches stock in Sideshow.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's going to be extremely sought after.
Hot Toys really probably learned a big lesson after Infinity War, because their Infinity War stuff sat and they produced massive amounts of them. And after that, there were things that ended on pre-order quicker than normal.
Chris, their Infinity War characters it was the Marvel version of The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
They got so prepared for a massive rush of people buying these pieces, and now they're just gonna sit and marinate for the next year or two to come. But this is gonna be one of those ones that price-wise people are gonna put off for a little bit, and then it's gonna be extremely sought after.
I love it.
It's so amazing. Look at the detail on that. And a nice little nod. We were talking about this before, going back to like the costumes book and some of the pre-production photos. They actually have the opening in the jetpack sealed off. I love that. That's a nice little nod to the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's cool.
And this head sculpt of Tamora Morrison,
it's Tarkin level.
One of the best, easily.
Yeah.
Cece's saying they got the thick body right. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Oh, Cece like them bad bod.
She likes that thick bod, doesn't she? I think just kidding. I think the Boba, I think this guy, the way, so you're saying, hold on. You're saying that do you get 2 full different figures, or okay, so it is 2 different full figures. Yeah. And it's
and they haven't done that since President Luke.
DX.
It's not a DX, I don't think.
It's not a DX. Just
not a DX. Wow,
pack.
that's crazy. I thought this was gonna be a DX. Okay, cool.
Kind of like what they did with Nightmare Batman and
Superman,
the Black Superman. Yeah. So not a DX, but the double pack.
And they have a base.
For 500.
And they have a base where you can display them, like the one's a little higher, so you can display them one behind each other. Like you can see it in some of the in the 2-pack pictures.
I think the one thing you can do, Matt, is you can switch the helmet onto the monk body.
Okay.
Because you kind of see that a little bit in the episode.
Why would you, if you're going to get a 2-pack, why would you take the head off and put it on this? If you want to just see what it looks like.
I agree, but the option's there. I mean, it's not limited. Yeah.
I love this. I absolutely love this.
It's nice. It's really nice. It's gonna look really, like you said, I think Jason, you mentioned right the being able to put them at different levels. You know what I mean? Like just standing them at different heights and stuff. It'll display beautifully. Yeah, it really will. There's some Hot Toys, and I mentioned this to you guys. There are some Hot Toys that I feel like look more like art. Like they actually look like you can pose them in a way that, like even like Mando on the Blurg, or some things like that, they just look like they can be standalone pieces. They don't have to go with other Hot Toys necessarily. And
this could be a standalone for sure.
They really could. Yeah, these two together would be.
Plus, you can pose this in any way, shape, and form. You don't have to worry about arms,
Yeah.
Or stretching fabric. You know, it's like what's that called? Far From Home. The homemade suit of Spider-Man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How you can actually pose an actual
Yes.
Spider-Man. Steve, what do you think of this? Did you order this?
So look, all due respect to all you guys, all due respect to you.
Yeah, sure.
I really do respect your opinions.
Of course. This is a great setup.
I think this is a yawn for me.
Okay. He doesn't like it.
I do not like the black undersuit. I can't understand why Morrison couldn't lose a little bit of weight for the role.
Oh, poor guy.
You know, Boba Fett should not be out of weight. He's roaming the galaxy, kicking ass. Why does he have a belly like me?
Okay,
I don't get it.
Okay, fat shaming, girthist. That's okay.
Well, he's heavy like me, and he shouldn't be. Right.
He goes in deep with the analytical thinking, huh?
Yeah. It's okay.
Right. I think the armor.
It's good.
I think the armor looks. No, okay, so first of all, it's not the hot toy. Don't get me wrong on the hot toy. The hot toy looks exactly like it did in the show.
Yeah.
I don't think that Boba Fett should be an out of shape guy who's scrounging for his armor. And I thought that his battle was completely contrived, forced, and was like dull. So so I am not a fan of Boba Fett being in the show at all. Sorry guys. That's the way I feel.
What I loved about the fight, what I loved about the way he fought, it's almost like his what do they call that dance? The Kiwi dance. That war dance that they
Maori,
do, the Haku, or is it?
Well, Maori is the tribe or people, right?
I think Haku is dance, right?
Thanks, Daddy.
He's definitely not doing that.
But his fighting style was fashioned after that. In that, that's I love that part. Yeah, Haku.
The Haka. Haka. Yeah, I think this looks great. Look at him next to Mando. He looks freaking sick, dude.
Yeah.
He looks really good. Fantastic.
Mando's spear. Can't wait for that to come.
I know the spear, right?
Yeah.
Pretty. It's pretty, guys. I have to say. Yeah, I'm sure. Look, I'm sure there's plenty of people that are just can't wait for that thing. It looks really, really good. So I get that.
That was pre-order. Instant pre-order. I didn't even wait. That was immediate.
Yep.
Smart move, Chris.
Your number 3 is Hot Toys Echo. Echo.
Nice.
I just love the design of him. I realize there's a lot of somebody said go gadget stuff, but sure. I just love how weathered he is. I love the head sculpt. And he's actually my favorite out of the new Bad Batch show. I like him the most.
Cool. He's cool.
I love his skirt.
Jason's getting this thing. He loves this thing and he doesn't even know anything about it. It's fantastic.
Are you really?
Have you watched Bad Batch yet, Jason?
No.
Not yet, but he likes the look of this thing. I love it.
That was just due to my schedule that I will be into, but I just think this looks so phenomenal.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks
this is such a fantastic fit. And if they come out with all of them, wow.
Yeah, true.
This reminds me of like we said with the bounty hunters, Steve. It's one of those things where if they come out with the whole set of them, having those on display, even if you don't have a single of the hot toy, it's just gonna look amazing.
What I also love is what they did with the head sculpt. Like it's Tamora Morrison, but it's altered. Like, and even the Hunter one that they showed earlier, it's his face, but they altered it to look.
Yeah, he's different. Still a clone, but he's you're right.
Would you get an Omega, Chris?
I'm surprised that I actually like Omega, and
Omega.
I hated Ahsoka when she first started. I hated her. I couldn't stand her.
Every time she says her own name, I'm just like, oh my gosh. She has that what is it?
She has an Australian accent, kind of.
Australian, or is it what is it? South African?
New Zealand,
what is it?
Maybe.
But she always says Omega. It's so funny. But yeah, This thing, like all of the I think you're right. All the Bad Batch figures, they're going to come out with them, and they're going to look fantastic, and they will look so good together on the shelf. They really will. They're going to look really, really good. Because even helmeted, everything looks great on this.
And the helmet is different. It slides on the front because it has the Lobot ears.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I didn't even notice. I didn't even.
Lobot.
So it comes apart like
oh,
this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
I think the whole Google gadget thing, it just always has to be something for somebody to say that's like, humorous and I get it. I get this. Somebody always has to be the class clown to say something silly or funny or humorous, even if it's not offensive. But this is just
love Go Gadget, dude. Like,
dude, what an amazing level of engineering for a Star Wars figure.
Yeah,
I think it's that one arm that like extends, and people are saying because of that.
Well, he's like an R2 with the one arm. Yeah.
Not that one. It comes with a swap out that has this.
Yeah, it comes with a bunch of different
little.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I just think it's silly to always have to, humorously jab it.
He's got a bit of a thin arm, thin elbow going on here.
Well, look at his face. His face looks like he's missed a couple nails.
Yeah, shit.
I painted an Echo helmet, and I'm so bummed I didn't wait a little bit and paint it like this because that helmet's awesome. Damn. I mean, look at that face.
Look at the 3PO on him. Come on, look at that C-3PO on him.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
He's got Tamora Morrison's face, but it's different.
Yeah, he's like a bulimic Tamora Morrison.
Well, it's like when you see those those police photos, like when they catch the person they're healthy, then like halfway through their addiction, then the end of their addiction. He's in the middle of the addiction.
Don't do crack.
Yeah.
Echo. Tell him not to do crack. Yeah, I hear you.
I even love the little like Matrix things in his head. Those little plugins.
The Matrix plugs.
Yeah,
this is great.
Sick. The weathering on his armor looks fantastic too.
Phenomenal.
And then freaking Hunter looks really good too. He's going to be a good one once they come out with that.
I'm surprised they didn't come out with him first because he's like the main character.
Yeah.
I hope they don't stop halfway through. Hot Toys is so, dude. They're so infamous for that though.
They're going to pull a Cyborg and do all of them except for one tech.
Yeah. No, they'll do them all. I'm telling you, they're going to do them all. They're too cool looking. Steve, what do you think about this? Are you?
I really respect you guys' opinion.
Yeah. Okay. One of it's again.
I think it's a spot on, excellent, great looking figure from a mediocre show.
Okay, you don't like the show.
The show's been a little slow. I think it's been a little slow, but I think it will get a lot better.
I hope. The figures look great. I mean, you cannot argue with that. But I have to be at this point. For me to keep buying this sort of stuff, I have to be more emotionally attached to it. And the shows are just like side quest after side quest after side quest. It's just, what's the point?
Can you imagine this guy on a date? Like, what does he pop out at some point? Like, he's got everything.
How you doing?
You're like, hey, what's your pleasure?
He'll probably pop out the thing that I bought in San Diego.
That's crazy.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm getting people mad in the comments here.
No, it's you're not wrong, Steve. That like the design itself is really cool, and that they did a great job with the figure. You're not a huge fan of the show, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. What's that?
He's gonna pop out that thing I bought in San Diego.
Oh yeah, no kidding,
God,
dude. Chris is walking into this like crazy ass. I can't even remember what the
place is called. Alternatively, he's got his own built-in flashlight, right?
Oh man.
Yep.
He's got all kinds. Look at the end of this thing. He's got all kinds of things ready to go, guys. He's a happy guy. He's a happy camper. Yeah. And you know what? Echo's been through a lot. You let him do what he's gonna do. He's right. If he wants a freaking pleasure freaking arm, then let him have it.
Chris, you're such a corrupting influence. I had no idea what the hell that thing was until you said you started talking about it on the Christmas episode.
The arm of pleasure.
The flesh load.
They're like, hey, don't go into Echo's room. He's got the pleasure arm on.
Yep.
He's just let him.
All I can picture now, right? When I look at him, his music. Like when wrestlers come into the ring, Matt, right? All I can picture is him walking down the aisle. Right? And all I can picture is Dr. Feelgood playing in the background.
Look at this thing.
That's what I was talking about. The go gadget arm.
Holy shit!
How's that for a reach around?
That's the pleasure arm right there. Oh my god!
We haven't seen this in the show yet. I don't know what this is.
No. We haven't seen any of those other arms in the show.
That's because it's a kid's show, Steve. You can't show this kind of stuff.
That's the fisting arm.
Holy
shit!
The best. Holy shit!
This is one of those things where it's like
he really took it. He took it all the way.
You see the disappointment in her face, right? And he's like, "Don't worry, baby, I got you."
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, you know what?
Sorry, CC.
Yeah.
Sorry to the.
No, this is the what you were talking about, Chris. This is what you're talking about.
Oh, what is he gonna pound meat with this?
Oh, that's when she likes it rough.
That's the pounder.
Tenderizer steaks.
The tenderizer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That's gonna leave a mark. That's gonna leave a mark on somebody.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Look at this thing, dude. Holy shit, we're still going, guys. This is crazy.
Some of these things I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
This guy needs his own show on Pornhub.
It just keeps going.
Wow.
The top one looks like it's a stretcher.
Good for Echo.
I'm surprised they didn't see these at the store we went into in San Diego.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. Good for Echo, man. He's just he's living his best life, man.
Where does he store these attachments? I mean,
in his backpack. His pleasure sack. Freaking ridiculous, dude. This guy.
Pleasure sack, you're crazy.
Freaking disgusting.
Seriously, that's an amazing figure. All around,
it really is. It's got a ton of stuff.
Look at this comment. Never a dull moment with degenerates. Complete degenerates.
Oh my gosh, James! Holy shit! I love it. What an uppercut, dude!
We have to edit that out.
Holy shit, that's fantastic!
Wow,
I love it. No, what a great comment that was. I think that, yeah, you're right, Chris. You can't go wrong with this thing. You're like all of the shit you get with this thing is crazy.
I'll probably only display it with one thing though. Do
you know what this thing costs? Do you know what around?
It's $280 something.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $280 something.
Well, you're not buying the figure. You're buying the pleasure. Stuff,
I'm really struggling how I'm gonna display it. Like I love the helmet. I love the face mask, the face sculpt. Yeah, I think I have to display it with the helmet on the side. I have to.
Gotta get two, man.
Well,
oh, you could. I guess you could.
Nah.
No, yeah.
No.
But what gadget are you gonna put on him?
The fisting arm.
The 3PO arm?
James, don't you ever apologize. You stop it. You stop that. If Chris can say the things he says, you can say whatever you want. Okay, so let's move on. That was fantastic because I honestly didn't know those many things were connected.
I think didn't we show them all on
I don't remember because I don't remember this many things.
Group therapy?
I don't remember seeing the tenderizer and then the freaking like the freaking perv arm where he's reaching out to touch somebody. Like
Matt, Echo can teach you a thing or two about a thing or two.
Oh my gosh, dude. And he's got a pistol.
Did you show all
these things and a little pistol?
Did you show all these pictures, Steve? Or did we breeze right through Hot Toys?
Did they not have them out when they first
I don't think they had all these pictures, but I do. No, but I remember seeing the Go-Go Gadget arm. That's
holy shit. That's freaking crazy. Anyway.
Great figure.
Great figure. Great figure. This next one. Okay, so the next one, let me bring up the next one. The next one's actually some pictures you sent over, Chris, because it's going to be this thing. Y-wing studio scale model. So tell us, Chris, what about this thing?
So the pictures you're going to bring up are, I think were painted by John Simmons, I think. But
I have it.
What I'm getting is a nice and mold cast of the Y-wing. I'm actually getting the X-wing too. I'm getting both of those.
Okay.
But the Y-wing is second. Okay, so that was the Y-wing was a third piece that I wanted to do mostly. Sandcrawler, Falcon, and then Y-wing, just because of all the detail and all the pipes, and there's so much detail in this thing. This is going to take a while, and it's going to be a lot of work and probably a lot of frustration too, because I love painting them, but building is not as much fun to me because for some reason glue don't work other than on my fingers sometimes.
Okay.
You know, but like my fingers get stuck together all the time, but the piece doesn't stick to the other piece for some unknown reason.
Well, Chris, you're also at a point where you can practically commit a crime. You don't have any fingerprints left, right? You cut them all off?
I've cut them all off. I actually bought these little sock things to go on your fingers so I don't cut my fingers all up. And I wear them. They work. But yeah, this is coming. Actually, it should have been here by now, but it's still in the mail. So that's going to be fun. And I'm actually...
Beautiful piece, man. Congrats.
I'm actually making 2 of them at the same time. So
okay.
So
one for somebody else.
One for somebody else, yes.
Killer. Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is.
Gorgeous. This is the one I'm making, the blue and yellow gold leader.
That's a lot of detail, man.
I know.
A lot.
I'm looking forward to it and dreading it at the same time.
Yeah.
But nothing's more frustrating than the slave one I'm doing right now.
So, Chris, will you paint a lot of these parts before you put them on?
I made that mistake with the Sandcrawler because that stopped it from gluing together even more. I had to end up sanding spots where I was going to glue pieces together.
Right. Sure.
So no, I'm going to put it together and then paint it.
It's going to be a lot of hard to reach spots, right?
Well, there's certain pieces that I'm not going to put on till after. Like those pipes will be later on. Yeah, because you can't get behind them. So some pieces you have to do it that way, but
then you'll still have to sand the spot that they glue down onto.
Yes,
right?
Yes. But this
particular piece, for those interested, and Chris knows this only because we've gotten pretty deep. We deep dived into the Y-wing quite a bit. What's interesting about this, especially where Chris was talking about the details of the exposed piping. So the whole mentality behind this original design was they originally had the Y-wing covered, and then because George Lucas isn't, so into hot rods, when the cars make their rounds and they have to pull parts out, and it got to the point where like they were always repairing, adding things on, and taking things up to the Y-wings as they were going in and coming up the battle. They just left the outer covers off and left it exposed. Hence those pipes being so visible. And I think that's a fun little interesting fact when people look at the detail and they wonder why some of the other models, despite the weathering, are a little bit more cleaner, and this one is so janky and exposed looking.
Right.
This is 1/24 scale. So is the X-wing. I have an X-wing 2 coming at the same time, and that's what like 30 inches, right, Jason?
Just shy,
just shy of 30, like 28. And those pipes are all metal tubing. Like, I have metal tubing that I'm going to bend and glue on and paint. So I'm looking forward to this. And Taylor, you're right. Y-wing is one of the best designs. You know what's funny what's funny about ships? Okay, everybody loves the Empire. Okay, they love the stormtroopers. They love Darth Vader. They love Boba Fett's a bounty hunter. But the Rebel ships are, to me, way cooler than the Empire ships.
They get so much character to them.
Oh yeah, X-wing, B-wing, Y-wing, A-wing, all of them. They're just gorgeous.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on having this, getting this pre-ordered, Chris, and when you get it in, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, you're already doing so many great other pieces.
I can't wait to do a follow-up on Chris's finished pieces because they're coming out. I mean, as somebody who collects studio scale myself and is very familiar with the studio scale community and some of the guys out there, Chris's work, and I'm not even just saying this biasly, like it's really top notch.
Killer.
Yeah,
I love it. The next and the final, the number one piece that Chris is excited about, is this guy.
Yeah,
the RS Prop Masters Y-wing helmet. So give us an idea, Chris, about, first of all, how were you able to get this? Because it's like impossible. And why you fought tooth and nail to jump on this thing.
So I took over somebody's pre-order.
Right.
And I mean, this is one of the first reasons that I fell in love with RS. It's so gorgeous and it's so different. And it just looks, Jason, you have this, right? So I don't know.
And just
what else to say.
Far from Death Star knows, we were able to figure out who we could get pre-orders from, as in some people just weren't able to get it. And
just to put it straightforward, guys, a lot of people were canceling.
Right.
And some of them fell through. Like me and Chris were pre-ordering through one guy, and we did.
It's been a long time. Well, I mean, it's taken us a long time to make these, right? So I totally understand people.
Yeah. We had one person that was like, "You can buy my pre-order, but it's number this and number."
Right.
And a lot of that was going back and forth. Some fell through, some didn't, but it all worked out, man. And it's still a long way to come.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little while.
It's still gonna be a little while. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of the things that I had to have, and I wasn't going to stop until I had one.
Well, I mean, look, I think all of us are eventually going to get this, right? Steve, were you able to find somebody to get one of these as well?
I'm hoping to.
Okay, yeah. So he's working on it. I believe, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to get one of these, which I'm excited about. I mean, Chris, we've been working on this for a while. This is something.
Yeah, since you first turned me on to helmets. Since you baited me with cookies, you know, and this was the grail to get.
Yeah,
helmet wise.
I basically put a bunch of candy out in front of my panel van and was like, "Hey, free candy, come get some candy." And Chris was like, "All right," and he jumps in the van, and then we start collecting helmets. And
dude,
and then,
you used to send me on the streams. You kept putting up helmets for me to look at, and then and I kept saying, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." And then you would send me messages with links to Anovos and RS Prop Masters, and I was like, "Dude, stop!" You were relentless. You were relentless. Yeah.
So, but once we started, once all of us really, I mean, Steve had been collecting some helmets before that, and I know Jason, you had as well. Once we kind of started all collecting helmets, we really started to look hard at this Y-wing helmet and being like, wow, this thing is, I mean, this is it. This is freaking amazing. It's such a strange helmet. It's such a weird helmet. And I think that's what makes me want it so much.
Yeah,
is that it's so freaking weird, and even in the show, even in the movie, even in the movie, it looks like it's bobbling around on his head, and it's this it's so strange, man. I love it. I think it's awesome.
And it's even more bizarre when you look at it on somebody's head from the front view, the side view. I love the side view. The front view is a little odd.
Yeah,
it's a little bit odd. I remember the picture of Rob with it on, and your face just fits right into that. It's here.
It's crazy. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's definitely the one thing I want.
Farm Desperate said I'd be a good drug dealer in the cartel. I would. I'd be like Mateo Escobar. Just freaking.
There's nobody who's bigger. There's nobody who's a bigger enabler than you are, Matt. No doubt about it.
I enjoy it.
Dude, Matt loves spending other people's money. How about in San Diego? Get two of them, get three of them. You need it.
But it was a good decision, though.
I mean, I was so happy with the money.
When you were in the bait shop, Jason, when you were in the bait shop, he was on you the whole time. Buy it. No, the worst was during the auction. He's trying to get you to spend money on these auction pieces. Like, Jason, buy it. Go get it. Go get it.
He almost got it too. Oh man, I'm so excited for Jason for you possibly getting some looking at some things in this next auction. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. But yeah, no, this congrats, Chris, on being able to grab this. This is one of the hardest helmets to freaking get.
I don't think there's anything more.
I gotta say, what a dance though. What a dance trying to get take over some of
I know.
Chris, do you remember how many back and forths that was? Like,
Yeah.
send this email, no, you pay me this much, you give me that much, and you pay
Well,
this.
you and I were dealing with the same guy at one point.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. It was I kept sending him messages like every couple days. Hey, did you decide if you want to sell it? Hey, did you decide if you want to sell it? And he kept saying, oh, I don't know. Let me think about it. And I'm like, dude, just fucking answer me already. Like, come on. So then he says to me that he decided he's going to keep it. And, that was the end of that. I said, well, if you ever decide against that, let me know. So, I don't know, a month goes by, right? Was it a month?
Yeah, roughly a few weeks randomly. Yeah.
And he writes me and says, are you still interested in it? And by this time I had found somebody else to sell it to me,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, no, Jason's looking for one. So I sent him your way. And he was worse to you. He was far worse to you. So then you didn't buy it from that guy. You actually bought it from
the infamous.
He's got the best one.
You have the best one. The infamous Finley one.
He's got the best one.
He has
that's mentioned live in 2 or 3 hours videos.
Oh yeah, that was the best when Rob was like, if Finley isn't in this first batch, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's terrible.
Finley was the guy that was asking over and over again every single possible chance.
Dude,
he had
number 15, right?
Yeah.
Or was it 12 or something? He got like the 12th one, got it in, and a week later sold it.
You gotta think that the guy had money tied up in it and was desperate to get his money back or something.
That's just partly what's happening with other people.
No, I know what happened. He got so sick and tired of people giving him shit that he completely got out of the hobby. He sold everything.
Yeah.
And Jason, you bought a bunch of things. Didn't you buy stuff from him, Steve, too?
Yeah, I turned Steve onto it because he was looking to sell out a bunch of things for personal reasons. And I said, Steve, look, this is what he's got. Let's just clean him out if we can. Rightfully so. Not in a bad way.
You didn't say that.
Holy shit.
Dude.
You did.
Well, I did. I did, yeah. Initially, I was just like, I said,
what happened, guys?
I'll just take whatever you can give me.
Finley was like, Jason, I need help. I'm thinking about getting out of this, but I kind of want to stay in it. Can you help me? Give me some advice. And Jason was like, you need to sell everything. And I got my friend. We're going to clean you out.
I just said, look, the more you sell, the more we'll take and better the deal we can make. And
that's right.
Yeah. I may not have said that directly to Steve, but I was like, hey, I'll clean you out. And then,
Matt, do you remember when I put it together that it was Finley? Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, this is the Finley helmet. It's fucking amazing.
It's the best one.
And then I figured
Matt
out,
was like, get a signature plaque.
Yeah, exactly.
And then later on, I figured out that I had bought my Act and Short Trooper from him.
So yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congrats, Chris. A lot of good things some really awesome things you're gonna get in eventually, and obviously it's gonna take forever for some of these things to come in, but very cool. Thanks for letting us go through your pre-orders. And guys, that's the show, right? Like we want to do more of these, but we want to get other people in the community. We want to talk to some of you guys and just kind of go through like why you're pre-ordering things. Like, maybe it's a change in direction in your collecting, or just go over some of the cool things why you love some of the pieces that you want to get. And it's just fun. I don't know how often we're going to do this, but we are going to do more of these. It might be a couple times a month, or, we're not sure yet.
This was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I love talking about these pieces and things.
We talk about this stuff all day long.
We do. And it's just a good time. I freaking love it. So hopefully we can do a lot more of these, and they're probably going to go opposite to the collector spotlights. They're it's just kind of a cool, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's cool to see what people are not what they have currently in their collection, but what they're excited to get, like we're all excited to get things, and it's fun to see what everyone kind of likes differently. So
once
Pretty
it gets announced and then people order it, it really doesn't get talked about until even after you have it in. You kind of get it and you put it on your shelf and you're like, oh, that's awesome. But then you move on to the next thing. So it's cool to come back to these.
Well, what I like about it, Chris, is you get to learn about the transition, the changes, the why, the what. But also, one thing that I always have the worst time with is when we do like role playing group therapy. What do you get on pre-order with Giselle? And I'm always like, I don't really have anything. And as we start talking, you'll mention something, Matt will mention something, Steve will mention, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get this. Oh, I get that. I get this. So making note of that and understanding what you have coming in, and it makes you more cognizant, but it also gives you a better direction as to where you're going with the collection and why. It's good conversation for sure.
It's cool. And eventually at some point we'll do Steve, we'll do Jason and me, and we'll do some of us, but we kind of also want to bring other people in the community in. So, let us know if you're interested in doing it. We're open to, just picking other people and seeing what you guys have on pre-order and have a good time. Obviously we'd want you to come on if you can. And
especially if you're in a transitional phase where you're pre-ordering things that are a little bit new to you or a little bit outside of your initial collecting purview, definitely, hit one of us up, hit me up, or, Chris up or whatever, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Fun. Good times. Guys, I think that's going to be it. We don't want to make these shows super long. So I think we're going to be good to go there. And look for us on Friday. We'll be doing group therapy on Friday, and that should be a fun one as well. Steve, I'm sure, has a great show in store.
There's the news keeps coming out, so a lot of stuff to talk about.
That's good. So there'll be a lot of good things to talk about then. And chat, thanks for hanging out. Everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out, and we really enjoyed talking with you guys, and we will see you again on Friday. All right, thanks for your time, everybody. See you soon.